Molucks KNIL militaren komen naar Nederland. Full of expectation, the Moluccans looked forward to the cold Netherlands. In 1951 about 4,000 KNIL soldiers and their families came to the Netherlands. The Dutch East Indies was occupied by Japan in 1942. The suppression lasted for 3 years. After the Japanese capitulation, the nationalist leaders Sukarno and Hatta proclaimed the independent Republic of Indonesia in August 1945. But the Netherlands did not accept that. The Indonesian struggle for independence broke out, and Moluccan soldiers fought side by side with the Dutch in the Royal Netherlands East Indies Army, KNIL, against the Indonesian nationalists. This struggle lasted until 1949, with the end of colonial rule in the Dutch East Indies. International pressure was so high that the Dutch government saw no other option than to negotiate and transfer sovereignty. In the Moluccas, in the east of the Indonesian archipelago, their own state was subsequently proclaimed, the Republic of South Moluccas. Moluccan soldiers who were still in Dutch service at the time and who were outside the South Moluccas, supported this new republic. But this group threatened to fall victim to the political tensions and was transferred to the Netherlands. Temporary was the idea. Upon arrival, the soldiers were met with a chilly reception and were discharged from military service. The dismissal without repatriation and the feeling of being discarded by the country to which they had been loyal, made for a bad start in the Netherlands. The military started a lawsuit against the Dutch state to contest their dismissal. More lawsuits and protests followed, but they were fruitless. The dismissal was upheld. With a delighted "Long live the Queen," the ropes on Java were thrown loose and the Moluccans left for the distant Netherlands. They expected a festive welcome. Moreover, they took little with them. Their stay would be short-lived. After a month at sea, the travelers happily set foot on solid ground. But the Dutch reception was anything but festive, because the soldiers were immediately discharged from service. Many Moluccan Muslims were housed in Camp Wildmerk in Friesland. Unlike in other residential areas, there was a mosque there and the Moluccans could slaughter animals halal. The Dutch government placed the Moluccans in residential areas, including the former Westerbork camp. There they lived separately from the Dutch. This way they could easily return to Asia as soon as the Moluccas became independent from Indonesia, was the idea. Despite hopes for a free republic, the fourth generation of Moluccans still live in the Netherlands today. Families lived in barracks and slept in full bunk beds. With blankets in front of the windows they kept out the bleak Dutch weather. In the Moluccas, water usually falls in liquid form. The snow in the Netherlands took some getting used to. But winter fun beckoned and soon there were snowball fights.